Yep, we're back on a second part here. Sorry about that. Some technical issues. Don't normally have them these days. So it hits me for 6 when that happens. So we put this out in 2 parts. So this is following on the first part of the episode. We're just going over DNA wrestling, fight fiction, and some of the confirmed matches that we've got for this. Matt, let me ask you first. Are you a fan of Pulp Fiction? I hope so. Cause
I
get lost to this one. And we're heading to Ipswich on this one, aren't we? So this should be interesting.
Yeah.
So we've got Lana Austin up against Brookside. We've got Corey McRae up against Sean Custom. Spike, who's now out, up against Tate Mayfair. He's now going to be replaced by somebody coming in. We don't know who exactly that's going to be. That's going to be announced anytime soon. And other matches going towards this, let's find out. So we've got the main event of this, of course, which is certainly going to be of interest to everybody as well. Let's find that out. Let's find the details of this. I'm sure there's a stipulation on it as well, so I just want to check to this. But I've got to say, we know Paul Robinson fairly well. I've not really heard too much about his opponent, which is Big Effing Joe is his name. But I got to see a video of some of his work, and I was like, how brutal could this get? Matt just said very on the reply. But, those kind of matches in general, like we don't see a lot of them, Matt. But, like, is that something you enjoy? Is that side of wrestling that you can get behind? Like, I'm kind of a believer that as long as it's not overdone, I'm fine. But, like, when it's just constantly through the card, it can get a bit sort of like, blimey, what are we watching here? Wrestling or stunts all the time, and how crazy can we get with each other? What is your take on those kind of matches? Are they something you enjoy, or the violence?
I mean, it has its place. It can't be overdone, like you say. The feud has to reach a point where you think that kind of level of violence is necessary, and it has to work for both characters.
Sure.
It reminds me like when we saw Havoc versus Paul Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at it on paper, you're just like, okay, these guys are just going to go nuts on each other. But actually working together in the ring, they pull off something pretty special. And I think when we was looking back on it, it was actually one of the better matches of the Hello Wembley on that night.
No, I agree.
So it does have its place, but it definitely does need to be done under the right circumstances.
Yeah, no, I agree with that totally. Because I think like sometimes just too much is just like, oh god, here we go. Like we've got to go through the entire thing again of watching them. So yeah, I think it has its place. I just think it's something that's got to be done, with the right amount of matches on it and not to overdo it really. So anyway, if you're interested in going down there, tickets, there are still some tickets, not a lot of tickets, because they've had to put more stuff in there, more chairs to get more people in, so it's sold out very well. It happens on Sunday the 3rd of November, and it's an early start. It's 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock, but there's going to be some matches like before that as well, I'm sure, so you want to get there a little bit earlier. But it's in Suffolk, Ipswich, in Spire, so get down there, and tickets are ranging. Let's have a look. We got, so for front row it's £20, but I'm not sure there's any of those available. But general admissions £15, and trust me, you're getting a lot of good wrestlers here. There's a lot of people that are very well known up and down the circuit that I know pretty well as well. So and I think for me and you, Matt, it'll be a different experience. We'll be out on the road trip that day, or a train trip, I'm sure. One of the two, probably a mix of the both.
Oh, yeah, done that
a nice Sunday trip to do that. It's just what you want, isn't it, really? On a cold day, probably rain as well, so that'll be our highlight for the day, won't it?
Yeah.
But I'm just glad it starts early, that's for sure, because it was hard enough getting back from Romford a little while ago, let alone Ipswich. So yeah, should be good nonetheless. So yeah, we're coming to the end of this now, so I want to thank everybody, as I always do. We'll try and get through all the questions next time we're on, because I know I completely forgot my laptop with me this week, so we'll get through some questions next week. So keep sending them in and email us at email@wrestleline.co.uk. Matt, just before we go, one thing I've just thought at the top of my head, Dean Ambrose, he's been not Dean Ambrose. Oh dear, that's going to get some heat. John Moxley, been stripped of his title recently. What did you make of that? Is that just New Japan showing
Yeah, I guess
there's a little bit of uncertainty who made the call there, but
yeah, it is a bit of throwing your weight around. But at the same time, as well, there were so many restrictions on it as well, to where he can defend it and what shows he can do and what shows he can't. I suppose in the end, just become a bit too much of a hassle, didn't it?
Yeah. Fair enough. So just thought I'd throw that out. I know that's gone there, but of course the Wrestle Kingdom main event is now announced, which looks like a great match, doesn't it? And well, I think Wrestle Kingdom for us, Matt, is something we actually watch now, don't we? Quite a bit. Like we always kind of get together now in that end of January, especially over the Royal Rumble. I've got to be honest with you, it's a much better viewing half the time, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating main event, because normally you always get that sort of American wrestler there at the top end against somebody, but they've got Naito there, who's done exceptionally well. You've almost seen his rise, haven't we? All the way to the top with him, and that's the good thing about New Japan, is you can get to see these guys from the very beginning to sort of climax to the top. So I think it's going to be some other good matches on there as well. I really enjoy it
because the story arc is so long and so vast. It's not like in other promotions when they expect the wrestling fan to have such a short-term memory. And you need to forget about what happened.
No, they'll talk about things that happened 3-4 years ago, don't they, to build it up, which is great, really. And I'm sure we'll see some Ring of Honor guys on it as well, as they normally do. I know Marty Skirtle's been talking about it as well, about getting on there. So, all that to look forward to, of course. And don't forget, guys, check out WrestleLine channel on YouTube, because we're going to have loads of good stuff. We've got 4 interviews going up this week, all pretty entertaining. And don't forget, the big interview that we're actually conducting here in a little while live will be with the Proteus champion from Progress Wrestling, Paul Robinson.
How are you going to... edit out all those swear words.
Yeah, we need a good beep system coming in, I think, or it's going to have to go up over 18, that's for sure. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing him, and hopefully we'll be around next week to share it with you. Yeah. If we're not,
we just try not to piss him off too much.
Yeah, we will. We're going to try and be on our best behaviour here. Softly, monkey is the key. But yeah, thank you as always for listening. We'll see you next time.